Thanks, Davey. Well, I'll tell you what, one of the cool things about being part of this Nationals crew is being able to ride all the tracks. This is my first time to Mount Morris, one of the most legendary tracks in all of motocross. I'll tell you what, it's got tons of weird stuff going on out there. I'm going to be riding this Sobi Suzuki. They're going to be giving it away at the end of the year. You'll be able to win it. So, you know what? I'm going to try not to ride it too hard, so I'll take it a little easy. I'll tell you what, we're going to get right out to the track. You're going to go up a steep start straightaway. It's got an all-dirt start takeoff. No cement like they've had in the past couple weeks. Then you're going to go into a couple elevation changes. Uphill, downhill, got some serious ruts. And you know what? Let's just go on board and check it out. Get into these huge ruts here in this track. I'll tell you, it's known for all the ruts. Little double section, double, double, then a single. I'm going to head uphill here. You got to catch the berm, get on the gas. You want to be on the pipe as hard as you can. Get as much momentum going to the top, back on the brakes, through the ruts. Caught these cags throwing inside of me and going. He's a pro. I'm a scrub. Look at these braking bumps on the downhill. Nearly throwing you over the bars. Pick another rut and head down. You can see it's kind of off camber. That's what it's known for here. So many different off camber turns around this back straight. Kind of just straight, fast. Got to get on it here, headed down into a small tabletop. Not really a landing, but I got to get it, get on the pipe. If I had it right now, I don't have it this lap. You got the step up, big step up. Don't do it. Lose tons of time. Check it out. Guy coming up on me, pick a rut, and then you're headed in these off cambers. Very heavy. Pick a line and go straight down. It's not like a berm. A berm comes up and backs you up. This slopes away from you. So it's all about traction and getting back on your gas hard. There's a little double in this jump right here. And then you head into the berm on the top. More ruts. You can see guys don't like the ruts. I don't like the ruts. And headed down into probably the most technical off-camber turn on the track. He swoops away from you. Guys are going to be passing and blocking there. Little step down. And the most slippery turn on the track, I believe. You go inside, you don't have any traction. Outside, you might get checked. And it's going to take you back up into the jump portion of the track. Little tiny step over here. A lot of guys not able to do it. Then into the supercrossy section. Couple double jumps into your finish line jump. And that's your Suzuki Fast Lap.
Well, last week we watched Ricky Carmichael battle with Stefan Roncada through the first lap. It's the first time Carmichael had really been led, and then watch what happens here.
Contact. Stefan doesn't like it, tries to cut him off, and Ricky didn't like that. Watch his answer. Apparently, you don't mess with number 4.
You mess with the bull, you get the horns, right, David?
Yeah, apparently. And it resulted in no points on the day for Stefan Roncada, and we asked Ricky about the confrontation.
We came around the mechanics area turn, and I took a different line than he did. Then I was on the inside, and he made a mistake, and I was already committed, so I ran into him.
He was right behind me in the rut, and when I got back on the gas, he hit me really hard on the right side of the bike, and I was really pissed because I didn't know where it came from. It was like, it wasn't even like trying to make a block pass, or it wasn't in front of me. It just like held it wide open and didn't worry about who was in the line, and blocked my front lever right there. And we go into the next straightaway. I jump the tabletop, get on the gas, and try to go as fast as I can to the next turn to get there before him. And next thing I know, he's coming in like balls out. It hits me.
And the thing that I try to tell everybody is, why would I want to hit somebody and jeopardize, you know, hurting myself or hurting my bike to where I couldn't finish a moto?
I just slammed the hay bales and him, instead of trying to take it easy, he just slammed me into the hay bales.
When I hit him, he thought I was trying to kill him, and then he started stopping and looking at me, and then after that, we kind of had to play a game. And, you know, we're not getting nowhere playing games. Everyone's just going to catch us, and I think he needs to realize that.
Yeah, I want it by. I want to take him by, and I can, in a way.
Well, as we take a look at our Suzuki starting lineup here at High Point Raceway, you see both Carmichael and Stefan Roncada on the grid. And David Bailey, those are fighting words from Roncada.
Yeah, and I think you'll see a different tactic of fighting from Ricky Carmichael. He just lets his results on the track speak for themselves.
Well, the card is almost sideways here for the first moto of the 26th annual Soviet High Point Nationals. Ricky Carmichael is your points leader with a perfect score so far, but you know what? High Point is one of 2 tracks left on the circuit where he has never won a 250 National. The winner of the last 2 High Point Nationals, Team Yamaha's David Billiman. The car is sideways and the gate drops, and we have begun. And right up the middle is John Dowd on big 520 KTM. Guy Cooper on the 540 behind him. At number 4, Ricky Carmichael second. There's Sean Hamlin. A little outside, you see Ezra Luss, Stefan Roncada, and Sebastian Tortelli. A pretty much clean start for all the top runners, David.
Well, this is interesting. You got Carmichael just ahead of Roncada, who already goes to the inside. After what he said about that last week run-in, he says, I can take him and I will.
But Ricky makes short work of John Dowd right at the bottom of the stair steps into the stadium whoops. Carmichael's out front. Before Roncada can hit him, he's going to have to get around Dowd.
Good luck. He's already getting just showered with rocks and dirt heading up that hill. It's such a powerful bike, and it was smart for Ricky to just jump on it right away before he got settled in.
Carmichael, your leader, as we go halfway through the first lap here at High Point Raceway. He's already starting to gap the field, and David, we've said that 4 other times this year in the first 4 motos.
Well, this is what he does. It reminds me of the dominant Jeremy McGrath in Supercross for so many years. You get the lead right away and check out, put in the fastest laps of the day, or of the night rather, and just pretty much force everyone to start racing for second place.
Carmichael down into the off-camber. He is on the number 4 red Honda, and he is already pulling away. The track turned out perfect, David. A little bit of rain yesterday. As you can see, the ruts in the corners of Stefan Roncada, and now Ezra Lusk both go by John Dowd. Just a perfect track here at High Point.
Nice line by Roncada, the way he jumps down into that GP section right there. This is that corner that Cameron talked about, probably the most slippery corner on the entire racetrack. Billaman getting a little squirrely there. Not a good start for him. He's won here 2 times in a row, and with that kind of start against this year's competition, he's in trouble.
You see the riders come down Bradshaw Boulevard. Carmichael already out of the picture. That is your 3rd place rider, 37-year-old privateer John Dowd, who rides the CernixRacing.com KTM. He is in the middle of a bunch of 2-stroke factory riders, and right now 4th place was last week's big surprise, Sean Hamlin. He's borrowed that Sobi Suzuki from, I don't know, either Kevin Windham or Travis Pastrana. Both of Suzuki's big guns out of the 250 class. Of course, Travis broke his navicular bone last week.
It turns out that's not going to be quite as bad as a lot of people thought. Maybe just 6 weeks in a cast and he should be okay. And Sean Hamlin looks a lot like Travis. I know that Lee McCollum, Travis's mechanic, was doing a little bit of work for him. He's running those hand guards like Travis, and he's running a different gear this week, different like no fear gear like Travis is wearing. So at first glance, he looks a lot like Travis, especially since he's number 99. Yeah,
slap a 1 on the front of that bike, and maybe give him about 5 more miles an hour down the fast hills, and he might beat Travis Pastrana. That's Ezra Lusk, the 2nd place rider. And we've been waiting for Ezra to sort of erupt here on this 250 National Tour, David, and it just hasn't quite happened yet. Is Ricky Carmichael in his head, or is this all the faster Lusk can go?
Well, he's trying to build on some.
Oh, right there. He makes a big mistake and gives 2nd place back to John Dowd.
Those kinds of little screwy things that keep happening to Ezra outdoors that keep him from building confidence. You know, instead of being ahead of Dowd and chasing after the leaders right now, and without getting any ruse or wrecking his vision, he's got to deal with getting back around John for the 2nd time, which won't be easy, and Tortelli, who's starting to pick it up. And I don't really think Ezra's known for his outdoor skills, and he's trying really hard to improve that this year.
Right now he's going underneath the KTM as they get down the bottom of the off-camera. Now it's a sprint race up the hill, but KTM up down on the inside, and you know what? I think he just gave him that spot.
Well, Ezra somehow was able to stay even with that powerful 520 up the uphill right there, and the way he went around the corner and put him on the inside of the downhill.
Tortelli does likewise. Tortelli makes a pass down the off-camera. That's the 2nd time in as many laps as we've seen Tortelli pass someone down there, what we're calling the GP section of the track.
Well, since he came from the GPs and is a world champion, maybe he likes that section.
A little further back, you see Hamlin, and that is Robbie Rayner on the Rayner Modifications Honda, trying to move up in the battle for the top 5 position. Right behind them is Moto Triple X privateer Kyle Lewis.
Look at that triple. A lot of air going up that. It forced them to go a little bit wider in the corner. Those guys both doubled it and were able to help to the inside.
Right there you saw Hamlin go just a little too far outside and allowed Rayner to come in underneath. You know what? That's a pass people make all the time at High Point. Going inside out, whether it's in the last turn or in the first turn, like we just saw Tortelli do to Ezra Lusk.
Next corner they just went through. I crashed there.
Whoa, and Tortelli doing the big Dunlop double. That was not a double jump before this year, David. We'll be right back to High Point.
From the minds that brought you the Hayabusa and GSXR sport bikes comes the all-new Quad Sport Z400. Is it still showing off if no one's around to see you?
This is Silverado Heavy Duty, with the most towing capacity of any heavy-duty pickup. Silverado Heavy Duty. More truck from Chevy.
Let me help you with that. You're gonna make a collect call, just dial in the center with 1-800-CALLATT. It's free for you and cheap for them. Whoa! What? Oh, come on!
Save on every call. Use 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
They've been called a dream team, a gas to watch. Tony Kornheiser, Michael Wilbon.
This is the best show on television.
Pardon the interruption. 5:30 Eastern weekdays on ESPN. And again at 7 on ESPN2.
Be tight.
Speed World's presentation of AMA Motocross is brought to you by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Honda, performance first. And by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. Speaking of Suzuki, there you see Sobi Suzuki star Travis Pastrana, and that is not a riding glove on his left wrist, David.
No, it's too bad. But like I said, it seems like in the vehicular, that could have been a big problem. Those things never heal and wreck careers, but it looks like Travis is going to get through it okay.
And it looks like the rider replacing Travis, Sean Hamlin, is riding very well. He is in 5th place right now, but behind him, here comes veteran Kyle Lewis, number 23 on that big 450 Honda, and he's got Team Kawasaki factory rider Stefan Roncada right behind him. Roncada is not obviously going to get back at Ricky Carmichael on this motor, David.
Nope. Nowhere near him. Nobody is. Even Tortelli, who took a little bit of time out of him that last lap. Ricky turned it back up, though. He's only about 9 seconds back, but I just don't see him able to cut into that margin any more than that. Especially these guys, they're just concerned with each other. This is a great battle they're having.
Lewis in 6th. He's wearing the red and white at the top of the hill, number 23. The orange Kawasaki, I guess orange clothing Kawasaki. Stefan Roncada in 7th tries an inside line. You see Hamlin right in front of them, Villeman right behind them.
And Ferry just poking his nose into that shot. He didn't get a very good start, which surprises me on this uphill start here at Mount Morris, where he has all that horsepower. But, Davey, I noticed he was limping pretty bad. I don't think he's 100%.
They come across the infield and up over the big double jump. It's Hamlin, Lewis, Roncada, Villeman, and Ferry. And this is your battle for 6 through 10.
Hamlin taking that outside line, leaving the door open. He gets a good run at the hill, but if they're any closer than that and he goes wide, they're going to make the pass. He's got a lot of, look at all this stacked up behind him.
But you know, what a great way for that kid to learn. I mean, if he wasn't on that factory Suzuki, if he didn't have that boost of confidence, he might be in another group behind these guys. And the only way to learn how to go faster is to go with guys faster than you. And here you see Roncada. He looks like he's actually slowed it down a little bit. And he goes around, gives up the inside to Villeman. Roncada definitely not being aggressive here at High Point.
Not aggressive enough. And I thought that's one thing that pretty much everyone agrees that aggressiveness has not been his problem this season. But you also got to look at the craftiness of Villeman through a corner like that. He's done so well here at Mount Morris in the past couple of years. Wet or dry, it doesn't matter. The guy likes this place.
We should also mention that Runcata was another Kawasaki rider who twisted his leg around in practice. He had ice on it, just like his younger teammate James Stewart in the 125 class. Not a completely healthy weekend for Kawasaki, but still, Runcata's not getting the breaks he needs to get up there and race for this championship.
And I thought once these guys reeled in Hamlin, that was going to be that. Just one by one, they were going to sneak their way by. But this kid is doing a great job of holding everybody off. Little mistake right there. He's going to give up some time, but he doesn't seem to be rattled by all this pressure behind him.
Hamlin, number 99 on the Suzuki. Behind him, the veterans, Lewis and Villeman. As we mentioned, Villeman, the winner of the last two Sobe High Point Nationals, but under much, much different conditions. In order for the track to get like it was last year, it would take a Hangtown-style rain, David, and it just doesn't look like it's going to happen.
No, it has gotten a little cloudier. There's a little bit of a cloud cover now, which looks like on camera that it would be a little cooler, but don't let it fool you. It's pretty hot and very humid out here. And towards the end of this race, not just the physical aspect of being a little bit tired, but the sweat in your goggles really becomes a problem.
You can see the track starting to rut up nicely here. Down into the bottom, Hamlin continues to lead, and he continues to learn as he goes along, David.
He looks good as well, too. You see him blast out of that berm right there. And there's a difference between a guy that gets a start, doesn't really run up there and just sort of tries to survive. He is not surviving here. He's holding these guys off pretty well.
And just like you said last lap, if he leaves that door open, Kyle Lewis is going to go in there and take it from him. And right there's a lesson learned as Lewis goes past him and into 5th place. And Hamlin comes right back and punches down the hill on Lewis. A very aggressive move. And Lewis is going to come right back and try and take it again. And look, Hamlin is set up on the inside to do likewise. That time there's no chance, Dave.
That's what I like. That's the fight I was talking about. He's just not up there going, well, eventually they're going to get me. He feels like he's a part of this group now, and especially with the fact you're right, he probably feels a little extra pressure. And
he's right back up on Lewis as they come down Bradshaw Boulevard, looking back over his shoulder, and now he's got a fight in front and in back of him. And right around Lewis he goes again. Hamlin putting in the most exciting ride of his young pro career.
Yeah, I would feel a little extra pressure, and in fact did when I got stepped up to first class with Kawasaki in my early days. You got 4 or 5 mechanics standing around and going, okay, you know, you've been doing pretty well. Now you have this bike. We expect you to get up there and do at least as well as you've been, which would mean finishing right here compared to how he did at Hangtown. And you've got all these guys lined up wanting him.
Hamlin down into the bottom, tries an outside line. That's going to open the inside. Lewis comes in. They can't jump that Dunlop double like you're seeing Carmichael and Tortelli do it, but he's not from that spot on the track. Now down over the stair steps. It is still Hamlin's 5th, Lewis 6th, Villeman 7th, and Runcata in 8th.
Good. Lewis with that different timing tripling all the way through there, but it's still not fast enough for Villeman.
And right there, Lewis caught himself looking at the back of Hamlin's rear wheel, and it was all Villeman needed to sneak right past him.
That's what they call Villeman the Cobra for, I think. One of the reasons is he strikes. Right there, he was just waiting for those two guys to foul each other up and pick up a position, or maybe both of them. See the lines Villeman uses, going outside into the grass to miss a couple braking bumps. Very smart line choice from David Villeman. I say it all the time, and I'll keep saying it because he's one of the most creative guys out there, and the first to find the new little lines out there that save a 1/10 of a second here and a 1/10 of a second there.
Now Hamlin makes another mistake, and again he was on the outside where we talked about before, and this time it's Villeman who goes past. So Hamlin maybe didn't learn that lesson quite well the first and second time, David.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes for some riders,
and right there he goes past him again. Hamlin, it just gives it right back every time. I mean, full credit to the rookie from Sun City, California. And he is trying the inside there, but there's just no chance. There's one big line on the outside of that really steep off-camber. So Villeman goes by for 5th, but Hamlin right there in 6th. Lewis is 7th, and Runcata holds down to 8th as they come down Bradshaw Boulevard.
Well, Team Suzuki's got to know that this kid went out there with this supposedly better bike and more support and tried as hard as he could.
So it's Carmichael, Tortelli, and Lusk. We will be right back to the Sobe High Point Nationals.
Now the time has come.
It's summer. Time to buy a Honda. Because right now you can ride off with any new Honda for $29 a month for the first 6 months. That's any Honda, $29 a month. Just in time for summer. Plus, you can get up to $600 in bonus bucks on select models. Imagine any Honda for $29 a month. See why this summer is red hot at your Honda dealer before time runs out.
You're about to be treated like no man before. New Gillette Series Shave Gel with ingredients like tea tree oil to invigorate. You get a close shave and healthy-looking skin. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Armor All Protectant Wipes. Armor All Shine and Protection in a wipe.
He's tough, yet sensitive. He's smart, yet humble. He's all that and a little more.
Wow.
More sports Tuesday night at 12:30 on ESPN. This week, Alec Baldwin.
The final battle for the most coveted trophy in sports begins. The Hurricanes blow into their first final against Dominic Hasek and the Red Wings in the 2002 Stanley Cup Finals. Canes Red Wings coverage begins Tuesday at 7:30 on ESPN.
Welcome back, class of 1982.
Hi. Tom, you haven't changed a bit.
Oh, thanks, Brenda. How do you stay looking so young? Well, I get a little help.
Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB for this free hair loss booklet and read about what causes hair loss and what options are proven to work. You'll also see clients from all over the country who have found the answer to thinning hair. Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB today.
This is your own personal assembly line, where deals are made just for you. Like this week's special, the compact Presario 6000 TPC. It's got an Intel Pentium 4 processor that delivers performance where you need it most. You'll also get a monitor, 20-gig hard drive, and tons of other great features, all for just $699 after a $30 rebate. Hurry and call 1-800-329-9281, and we'll line one up for you.
2 years ago at High Point Raceway, the normally well-groomed track better suited mud bogging than motocrossing. It started raining the day before the race and never let up until the start of Moto number 2 in the 250 class. A first corner pile-up in the first moto left the French duo Sébastien Tortelli and David Villemin, second and third in points respectively, on the ground and trailing the pack. Working together, the two were in the top 6 by the midway mark. By the checkered flag, Tortelli was 4th and Villemin 3rd, just 2 bike lengths behind the winner, John Dowd. In the second moto, Villemin was off the line with the leaders. Only Dowd, Kevin Windham, Ezra Lusk, and Larry Ward were ahead of the former World Supercross champion. With the track worsening, Villemin was able to go all the way from 4th to 2nd on the 3rd lap. From that point on, the race was as good as over. With the victory, Villemin took the overall win and moved from 3rd to 1st in the 250 national point standings. Unfortunately, we do not have a day like that here in 2002 as Ricky Carmichael on the number 4 Honda continues to pull away from the pack. He is well ahead of everyone, David.
And not tripling up that hill like I thought he might. Decided, you know what, inside to inside and get that bike down to the ground is a little bit faster. He's got Tortelli back there pushing him hard, so if it was faster to triple that, he would be doing it. There's still another double jump that he's jumping, coming out of this right-hander, then the left. He and Tortelli, the only ones doing it that I've seen so far.
Ricky approaches the Dunlop doubles. We shoot back to our 3rd place rider. That's Ezra Lusk on the Kawasaki, and he is trying to reel in Sébastien Tortelli, but right now those 2 Hondas out front are gone, David.
Well, that's pretty much been the story. I was surprised Tortelli didn't do better at Hangtown, really, especially since it was muddy. But he's going to have to get better starts to get up there and have any kind of a shot at beating his teammate Carmichael. He has to know from testing that Carmichael is unbelievable, and the only way he's going to beat him is to start with him or in front of him, and the same goes for Ezra and everybody else out there.
Up around the first turn, Lusk continues to hold 3rd. Right now it's a lonely 3rd as this first moto starts to wind down.
Ezra approaching that great big Dunlop double jump, not going for it.
Flashing back, this is your 4th place rider. This is actually a surprise, I think. Robbie Rayner, the full privateer on a Honda modified by his father, Robert Sr. And right now he's putting it to about half the factory boys in the field, David.
Well, now we're starting to see some of that stuff we hear Travis Pastrana talking about all the time, going, man, I go to Rayner's house and we practice motos and he laps me. And I'm thinking, how is that possible looking at Rayner's results? But he's starting to show what he's capable of. This was the immediate pass for the lead that Ricky put on John Dowd. He only had a couple of corners in the books at this point. Ricky right to the inside, takes over the lead, and he's been pulling away each lap. His lap time's 3 or 4 seconds faster than the chase group, everybody other than Tortelli, who's matched it, but he's not gaining.
Carmichael has won motos here before on the 250, but he has not won an overall. As he winds his way back into the GP section on his last lap of the first 250 moto here at the Sobe High Point Nationals, giving the fans a little salute. Now it's just one straightaway to go up over the giant tunnel jump, and then it's out Bradshaw Boulevard. Ricky Carmichael, perfect so far this season, is going to put the first moto in the bag. That is 5 in a row as Carmichael takes the checkered flag.
The gap over his teammate Tortelli stayed about the same, but those two pulled away nearly 45 seconds from 3rd place Ezra Lusk.
See Lusk down in the bottom part of the track in the GP section. He's more or less by himself, and the next rider, of course, is that privateer Robbie Rayner.
Be anxious to see if he can put together another ride like that in the 2nd moto, and if he does, take a look at his riding style, because he stands an awful lot and makes the bike work underneath him. Makes it look real, almost looks like he's going slow, but 4th place out here is not slow.
Well, Robbie Rayner was always known for his good style and his bad shoulders. But 4th place here in the first moto at the Sobe High Point National. We will be right back to hear from our winners.
The biggest names in motocross and off-road racing have an even bigger name under them, Suzuki. Do you want to be the next big name? Get on a Suzuki RM or DRZ today.
This is Silverado Heavy Duty. Available with the Duramax diesel. The most powerful diesel you can get in a pickup. Silverado Heavy Duty. More truck from Chevy.
You need to make a collect call.
My man, just be cool. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. It's free for you and cheap for them. Dial right down the center. 1-800-CALLATT.
What's this? Save on every call. Use 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Customizing your car? Stop by Meineke for performance mufflers with attitude, high energy, good looks, and increased horsepower. Plus a free race game. That's Meineke Performance. Meineke, you won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
Every 4 years, the world's great sporting event returns. 32 countries. One goal. The FIFA World Cup on ESPN. Every shot live. From the other side of the world. The FIFA World Cup. Live coverage nightly on ESPN and ESPN2.
Welcome back to High Point Raceway for the 3rd round of the 2002 U.S. Motocross Championships. Well, once again, Ricky Carmichael puts it to the 39 other riders in the field. Here's what he had to say.
I felt good. You know, Sebastian was riding good. It's a good thing I got out front and got a good lead because he was turning, you know, a little bit faster lap times than I was, and then he let off at the end. But it would feel good to win here on the 250. You know, it's always been muddy and the track conditions haven't been too good, but you know, we'll see what happens second moto.
Well, just another day at the office for Ricky Carmichael as he takes the win. Tortelli second, Lusk, Raynard, and Team Yamaha's David Billman rounding out the top 5. Sean Hamlin does a good job of holding on to 9th, and Kyle Lewis with a late fall goes back to 10th place. A little further back at 15th, you see 40-year-old Guy Cooper. Well, we also caught up with Sebastian Tortelli, and here's what he had to say about the first moto.
You know, my speed has been very good. I just same speed as Ricky, and that's the problem. Maybe he just got a better start than I did, and I tried to catch up, but it just was too big of a gap, and he was riding great. So we were riding the same speed. So I just tried hard and tried to make it possible, but this time was not. Maybe next moto will be better.
Some upcoming races on the AMA Chevy Trucks Tour. If you want to learn more about these events, log on to www.usmotocross.com for all your national updates and needs. Now, let's go to this week's Honda Tech Tip.
Hi, I'm Kenny Germain from American Honda. I'd like to bring you a Tech Tip of the Week. Last week's race at Hangtown was a mud race, and a mud race can cause a lot of problems to your linkage. You always want to service your linkage and clean it up and grease it properly. You always want to install it properly. You want to put your pin in first, your collar, and then your seal to make sure the seal is installed properly and does its job correctly. I'm Kenny Germain from American Honda. That's your Tech Tip for the week.
Well, the two Hondas up front, notwithstanding, Ezra Lusk with Team Kawasaki was the fastest man on the track. Cameron Steele caught up with him to ask him what it was going to take to be #1 the next time out.
I think as far as the course goes, moving me up, it's just picking a little bit better lines and actually just riding a lot more aggressive. I was just a little bit slow out there. I don't really feel that great today, so I'm kind of just taking it as it comes. And unfortunately, I started up front and had to deal with it, but fortunately I did. So hopefully we can get a podium in the second moto and get a good overall.
Well, when we return to High Point Raceway in Mount Morris, Pennsylvania, we will see if Ezra Lusk gets that break and can, in fact, get his bike in front of the Hondas of Carmichael and Tortelli.
In 5 billion years, Earth has never seen anything like it. The Honda Rubicon. 500 cc's of extraordinary power and a revolutionary automatic transmission with no belts to slip or burn out. The Honda-matic. When you're the best on Earth, Earth is your only competition.
Guess they're not home.
Mom?
Hit it.
Dad? You'll find any excuse to go Outback for our perfectly grilled shrimp and fresh Atlantic salmon.
Son. You're breaking up.
Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Hi.
How you doing? What? You hungry, boy?
Need a new way to wax? Introducing Eagle One Wax As You Dry. Just wash, spray it on a wet car, and dry to an amazing shine. Wax As You Dry from Eagle One.
The Red Sox will not win a World Series in my lifetime.
I don't buy for 1 second that being a professional athlete is a job.
I would tell the Chinese government to take that 50% and shove it up.
Phil Mickelson will win a major this year.
Listen to Iverson.
Dodgeball is being banned in school. A-Rod deserves every penny.
Women have better golf swings.
Pro football should get rid of the 2-minute warning.
Barry, bring back the mullet. Jackie is not athlete. Horses are.
Welcome back to High Point Raceway for the Sobe Nationals. Before we get started with the second moto, let's go behind the scenes with this week's version of the Racer X Pit Pass. Taking a look at our Suzuki starting lineup at the top of the field, of course, Carmichael plus his teammate Sebastian Tortelli, Yamaha's Ferry and Villeman. A little further down, you see LCRacing.com's Keith Johnson and Ryan Clark. A little further down, the 40-year-old Guy Cooper. What a wonderful story he is. But right now, let's go down to the starting gate. Cameron Steele's got an update for the 250 class.
The story continues to be Ricky Carmichael. He ran away with moto number 1. They're on the gate for moto number 2 right now. Sebastian Tortelli has the speed. Can he catch him? It's time to go racing right here. Moto 2 gate drive.
And right up the inside, you see David Villeman with a good start, but once again, it's that big KTM of John Dowd with the hole shot. Dowd out front, Carmichael giving chase right behind him. The rest of the pack gets through the turn pretty cleanly. There you see Lusk, and there you see Guy Cooper. So you got the 2 vet riders running 1 and 3, David.
Guy Cooper can make this exciting for a little while, but he's been fading pretty quick.
Well, it comes to being 40 years old. Now, this is where Carmichael made the pass in the first, and you know what? Just like that, he does it again.
Can't believe that Dowd fell for that twice. He might not have known that was Carmichael on him. It's too early in the race to really take a glance over his shoulder, but he's trying to hold the inside right there, but he came in so far on the inside, he automatically drifts wide. Ricky knew it. He was right back to the inside again, and it's see you later now. Tortelli's the only guy that can match his pace, and he got a worse start in this moto from what I can see. So I can't even see where he is yet.
Ricky Carmichael out front, John Dowd second, Ezra Lusk third. Then it's Guy Cooper going a little further back. Kyle Lewis is in the top 10. David Villeman with a pretty decent start, and the number 912 of Daryl Hurley, another one of those Suzuki replacement riders. He's taking the place of either Wyndham or Pastrana. Right there, you see Sebastian Tortelli not able to jump up over that double. He is mired back at about 15th spot. Carmichael already an entire hill ahead of second place Dowd. Lusk trying the outside line.
Lusk was able to get around Dowd the first moto, no problem. He better do it quick this time, or he's not even going to see Carmichael anymore. There's nothing more frustrating than to chase something you can't see.
Well, we aren't even finished with the first lap here. Ricky Carmichael has gapped the field. Ezra Lusk, leader of the Kawasaki Chevy Trucks team, trying to pass John Dowd for second, and then he has a long ways to go before he catches up with the defending champion Carmichael's Honda. Downhill double. Dowd hits it perfectly from the outside. Now the big uphill triple jump, and neither rider is able to jump. It looks like Dowd kind of messed himself up a little bit in that corner, and that little hesitation meant he was not going to be able to pass it.
You can see Carmichael already coming out of the corner going the other way. The mechanics give him their signals. Not that there's that much to say this early in the race.
And Lusk keeps the power on a little longer, comes along the inside, and he's able to, no, Dowd holds him off. And then Dowd makes another mistake at the bottom.
Lusk was counting on that. He was just trying to push Dowd a little bit past his comfort zone and see if he could get a mistake out of him, because if you ride behind him and don't apply a lot of pressure, he's good enough, and he's a veteran. He can ride around this track all until that thing runs out of gas without a mistake. Ezra really pushed him hard. He's able to triple through that Supercross section right there in the off camber and work his way up. There's Randy Lawrence's mechanic going, okay, that's a better, we're off to a good start. Looks like second overall if he can hold on to it, especially since Tortelli's so far back. And like I was saying the first moto, Lusk just trying to build some confidence, and he's doing it now.
There you see David Villeman with a nice pass on Kyle Lewis. This is the battle for fifth if you're watching, and that is Daryl Hurley right in front of them on the number 912 Suzuki as they come back across from the Sovi sweeper to the infield doubles. A little further back, that is Guy Cooper, and here comes Tortelli, and he is just past Sean Hamlin for 8th spot.
What an awful year for Suzuki. To be going after riders that no one's ever even heard of, and they're having better luck than the riders that they hired for millions.
And right there, Villeman gets a little bit of a better jump up the hill, and he is able to remove Hurley as your 4th place rider. So Villeman starting to move up. There's John Dowd. He is 3rd. In front of them, a long ways in front of them, is Carmichael and then Lusk. There you see Hurley in 5th, Lewis in 6th. And a little further behind them comes Robbie Rayner. Or rather, I take it back, that's Sebastian Tortelli.
Tortelli's going to be frustrated with this. I can remember how it felt to be chasing down the leader, come up a little short. No, okay, it's just going to take a better start, and I've got it. And the second moto rolls around, and you get a crummy start, and the guy you're trying to beat is out front again. It just takes all the wind out of your sails. It's hard to even get motivated to get up into second, but you better get motivated because that's not going to be an easy task this time.
There you saw Kyle Lewis, the only rider jumping that triple jump right there, at least in that middle pack on the privateer Honda. You know, you talk about losing your confidence, seeing the other guy good start. Jeff Emig lived with that for 5 years in Supercross, watching Jeremy McGrath get those starts, and now the entire pack is seeing it with Ricky Carmichael.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing when the guy's fast out there on the racetrack and he applies the pressure and occasionally jumps something like this big Dunlop jump right here. He's jumping all the way over that, 60 feet across there and right out of a corner into another one. That's enough. But then when the guy starts getting the whole shot and having a 9-second lead at the end of lap 1, you're just scratching your head going, what else can I do?
Lewis on the inside moves past Hurley, so now he is into the top 5. Kyle Lewis, a great ride in the first moto, but a fall right at the end knocked him out of what would have been a 6th-place finish. Now he's trying to make up for it here in the second moto, holding 5th at High Point Raceway.
I think, you know, we talked about it earlier, Davey, that Sean Hamlin's presence in terms of the privateer status really woke up some of these guys. Now you got Rayner doing well, Lewis doing well. Good to see the privateers getting up into the top 5.
Well, here comes a factory rider through the pack. That's the number 13 Honda of Sebastian Tortelli, but he has a long way to go. Ricky Carmichael, your leader. We will be back to Mount Morris, Pennsylvania in a moment.
I see you're checking out our new Quad Runner Ozark 250. Yeah, it's Suzuki's latest sport utility ATV. This baby's got it all. More suspension travel than the Yamaha Bear Tracker, more ground clearance than the Honda Recon, and a bigger engine than the Kawasaki Bayou 250. How about a test ride? Okay.
Introducing the Quad Runner Ozark. The first sport utility 250 ATV from Suzuki. Visit your local Suzuki dealer and get $300 cash back or low APR during Suzuki's Summer Sizzler event.
I'm coming in. Wow, that's cold, but I can save you on your collect calls. Dial down the center with 1-800-CALLATT. It's free for you and cheap for them.
Save on every call. Use 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
You're about to be treated like no man before. New Gillette Series Shave Gel. With ingredients like tea tree oil to invigorate, you get a close shave and healthy-looking skin. Gillette, the best a man can get.
He's tough.
You want to take it to the ring, honey?
Yet sensitive.
I like this shirt, man. Who shot the couch?
He's smart.
Come on, go to the whip. Hello.
Yet humble.
Can you break a million?
He's all that.
Word.
And a little more.
John Rocker. He's crazy. All right, I'm ready to roll. Am I overdrawn? Wow.
More sports, Tuesday night at 12:30 a.m. This week, Alec Baldwin. Catch Jay in his new time when he kicks off the block. Tuesdays at 8, beginning.
At Hogan & Sons, we have some special offers in store for you.
How about all tires on sale? Right now, you can get Goodyear Eagles, Aquatreads, and Wranglers all on sale. Plus, get up to $75 when you buy 4 selected Goodyear tires on a new or existing Goodyear card account. 2 cool reasons to come see us now. So, for Goodyear tires and this very special offer, stop in today.
Don't keep your TV in the dark ages with that old cable box. Jump into the 21st century with Adelphia Digital Cable. Adelphia Digital Cable has more channels and options to enjoy. With over 190 channels, there's always something to watch. Don't forget your home office. PowerLink is going 2-way and will be faster than ever. No more dial-up. Your internet connection will always be there. 2-way PowerLink is now available in Ashburn and is coming soon to Leesburg. Call Adelphia Customer Service at 703-430-8200 to get connected today.
As a factory rider, Marty Motes might well have won numerous national motocross championships. But when the call came to join factory teams, Marty exercised a rare sense of loyalty. He remembered who provided the help in his early years and elected to remain a privateer. Still, Marty Motes enjoyed one of the most spectacular days in U.S. motocross history. He was the first American to win the Carlsbad United States Grand Prix of Motocross.
And Motes is not going to give up. He's coming right back at Brad. And he's got him. He's gone by on the inside. Marty Motes for the second time today.
In 1980, on ABC's Wide World of Sports, riding an LOP Yamaha, Motes beat the best in the world to win both motos. He became an instant American hero.
For the second time today, the checkered flag, the goggles into the crowd.
22 years later, Marty still loves to ride. He competes regularly in Yamaha's Race of Champions and other events where the emphasis is on not so much winning, but having a good time dicing with friends.
And Motes takes the win.
Success followed Marty when he retired from racing. He's vice president of No Fear now, and with his wife Heather and the newest addition of the Motes household, son Dakota, Marty lives in Carlsbad, California. And back to the live action here of the U.S. Motocross Championships, the Sobe Nationals at High Point Raceway, and you are watching Sebastian Tortelli battling privateer Kyle Lewis for 5th, and just like that on the inside, David, it looked like Kyle Lewis let him go.
Well, all Kyle did was pause a little bit in the middle of that sweeper, which has got to be the longest left-hand sweeper in the sport of motocross today. And Tortelli, on the other hand, was going through there fast, so it made it look like Kyle just stopped right there. But Tortelli's on a mission to catch Lusk and make it a Honda 1-2 sweep.
Now your battle for 3rd. David Villeman doing the exact same move on John Dowd that he did on Kyle Lewis, using that quick outside line, catch him off guard on the inside in the following corner.
Yeah, it's working good, and I keep talking about the line choice of David Villeman. He plans ahead. As he's going through that corner, you can see Carmichael already heading up the big uphill. Kyle looks to his left going, man, what is that, a freight train coming? No, it's Tortelli. Here's another look at Villeman's nice move. Just hops into that berm, wheelies out, puts himself to the inside. Dowd's like, well, should have thought of that a little sooner.
So 1 lap, 2 corners, 2 Frenchmen go by 2 American privateers in 4 strokes. I know that's a lot, but try and follow me. And once again, Tortelli is on top of John Dowd. Sebastian Tortelli, like you said, David, he's on a mission.
Well, Lusk has got a huge gap on him. There he goes. There's a lot of ruts right here, and it takes incredible balance to ride well at Mount Morris because of all the berms of these corners through there. Great balance it takes to get through there fast, and then also there's a lot of corners where you come out, it's a little bit off camber, and it climbs a hill, and if you're slightly off balance, you can't apply all the power. Tortelli has excellent balance, and he's gaining fast on Lusk.
So Tortelli up into 4th position. Let's recap the playing field. Carmichael, your leader. Lusk 2nd, Villeman 3rd, Tortelli 4th, Dowd 5th, and now Robbie Reynard once again on the charge up into 6th on the privateer Honda.
See that line Villeman just had up the right side right there as we look at it? Trying to stay low, get the power to the ground.
Right there, Reynard goes by John Dowd as well. So Dowd going the wrong direction at this point in the moto, but right now it looks like the Hondas seem to have this track wired.
They do, and they've got the most aggressive guys right now. They just happen to have a rider like Reynard. Foot slips off the peg right there, doesn't affect him. He's just riding excellent today. And, you know, in John Dowd's defense, wait till we get to Southwick. That's where he's going to be looking good, and everybody other than Carmichael's finish might be in jeopardy.
Down across the finish line to complete another lap. This is the battle for 3rd you're watching. David Villeman with Sebastian Tortelli. They have a long way to go if they want to get to Ezra Lusk, and an even further way to go. In fact, right there at the top of your screen, you could catch a peek of Lusk. He is about 15 seconds ahead of this battle for 3rd.
Villeman already starting to glance to his side, wonder where Tortelli is. Doesn't need to wonder, he can hear him.
Tortelli trying the inside line that was so effective on the last lap. And once again, Tortelli using the long left-handed corner on the inside to make a pass. And right up over the Dunlop double. Look at that, David.
Beautiful. And Villeman's going, you know what? If you got that, I don't have anything for you.
When we come back, the run to the checkered flag from High Point Raceway. It's Carmichael, Lusk, and Tortelli.
Life's a ball, if only you know it. And it's all just waiting for you.
Introducing Cool Contact Towels from Old Spice. Cool down anytime, anywhere.
There's such a lot of living, such a lot of living, such a lot of living to do.
New Cool Contact. Splash one on.
Make a collect call.
My man, just be cool. Dial 1-800-CALL ATT for collect calls. It's free for you and cheap for them. Dial right down the center. 1-800-CALLATT.
What's this? Save on every call. Use 1-800-CALL ATT for collect calls.
People everywhere are discovering the power of cheap tickets. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can find airfares up to 40% off on the web or on the phone. Airfares you can't find anywhere else. Cheap tickets, the best kept secret in travel for over 15 years.
The world's great sporting event returns. 32 countries. One goal. The FIFA World Cup. Live coverage nightly on ESPN and ESPN2.
Speedboat's presentation of AMA Motocross is brought to you by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Honda, performance first. You're taking a look at Bevo Land, a little playground of pro pits in honor of Scott USA's Bevo 40 as we go back to the action on the racetrack. David Billiman and Robbie Rayner battling for fourth. And a little ways behind them, a couple privateers, Kyle Lewis and John Dow trying to hold off the factory four-stroke of Yamaha's Tim Ferry. And right there, Ferry went by Dow.
No problem. Listen to that pack.
How much power must be in that corner at one moment. And back up to the battle for fourth, this is Robbie Rayner, and he is challenging David Billiman. And Rayner, once again, moves into fourth, separating himself from half the factory guys. He is right in the middle.
The way Tortelli went around Billiman, and he didn't put up much of a fight, even before he jumped that big Dunlop double, I had a feeling something wasn't quite right with Billiman. I don't know if he's tired or what's going on, but it doesn't surprise me to see Rayner, the way he's riding, they get around him.
Moving back to the battle for sixth, all those four-strokers in a row. It's Lewis, and right there, Lewis moves over just a little bit, and then he jumps back in. Now here comes Ferry on the outside. No, he's got a slight horsepower advantage. That is a factory bike. Down the Bradshaw Boulevard they come, and Lewis is doing a good job of holding him off, although, David, it looks like his pipe is starting to bounce around a little bit.
Yeah, Lewis is silencer right there on that side. It's starting to wobble a little bit. Hopefully that thing doesn't break off, because it's going to get even louder. You got about 1,300 cc's combined with these three guys running together. When they come by, the fans can't hear anything.
Down past the mechanics area, Lewis doing his best to hold off the factory Yamaha of Tim Ferry. That time Lewis moved over and took that line that Tortelli used on him, but he's going to open the door for Ferry to come down the inside. Lewis just can't win in that corner.
He glances over his shoulder to see where Dowd is, which usually indicates that he's going, okay, I'm done messing with Ferry. He can have it. Let me make sure nobody else gets by.
But David, check this out on the other side of the racetrack. Look at Sebastian Tortelli. As Ezra Lusk laps Jeffrey Baker, Tortelli has eaten up that entire 15-second advantage, and he is right behind the Kawasaki in this battle for second place.
Well, Ezra is riding as hard as he can, but he talked about struggling with lines in the first moto, and it looks like he's still having that same problem as Tortelli. Besides jumping that Dunlop double and making up a little bit of time, Ezra has started jumping as well now to try to hold him off more, but everything is just clicking a little bit better for Tortelli, and he's had to come through the package so far. He's found a few lines, I think, and he's using that now to gain on Ezra.
You see Ryan Clark getting lapped by the second and third place riders. They battle here in the closing stages of the second moto of the Sobe High Point Nationals. Come around the downhill stair steps. Tortelli looking for a way around Lusk, and a lapped rider there on the inside. They both bounce out a little bit, and there goes Tortelli. Shoots along the inside, David.
Nice move. Tortelli had talked about the great balance he has, the ability to get through those off cambers, make it stick, and be able to apply all that power up those hills afterwards and not be caught getting a little bit of a wheelie and having to back out of it. Tortelli on the power hard. Now he's going to show Lusk the way around a little bit. Lusk's going to learn something in his last couple of laps from Tortelli. I don't know if he can use it on him or not, but he's definitely going to pick his pace up.
Whoa, and Tim Ferry goes down. That was the battle for fourth you were watching. Ferry, after that bad start, had caught up to right behind Robbie Rayner, and then he slides out in a corner that we've seen people crash 100 times in, David.
Well, I started to talk about this a little bit earlier until Tortelli did that great big double jump, and we got interrupted, but I've gone down there a couple of times. I went down there at the start of the moto a couple of times, had to come from last. This was the battle for second. Lapped rider kind of sets a little bit of a screen. Lusk has to go wide. Tortelli shoots down the inside into that. Then Raynard getting a little bit of pressure from Ferry, who gets into that corner. The rear wheel wasn't planted. So he pretty much hands fourth place in this moto to Robbie Raynard again.
Back at the front of the pack with Ricky Carmichael. David, is it too early to start talking about the perfect season for this guy?
No, not at all. With the way he's ridden and the way he rode the first couple of races, I thought this could be a boring season. But when he closed in on potentially winning every race, save your ticket stubs, because we could be seeing history here.
So Ricky Carmichael finally gets a 250 national win at High Point Raceway. He rolls across the checkered flag. There are your final results. Carmichael, of course, out front. Tortelli, a great comeback for second, and Ezra Lusk rounds out the top three. Now let's go down to Cameron Steele. He has Ricky Carmichael in the winner's circle.
Is there a way to tell everybody home what makes Ricky Carmichael Ricky Carmichael?
I don't know, you know, there's some secrets in there, but you know, I just work hard. I have a good routine, and the bike works good for me, and you know, I'm really happy. Things are going good, and just got to keep some luck on our side.
Luck is always great. Talk about the race itself, how the track held up. I mean, without having any rain here, the track looks really good.
Yeah, the track is good. It's really moist and tacky, so the track was awesome, and you know, Sebastian was riding good today. I just was able to get out front before he could, and get some time in between us, and I was able to just kind of maintain the same lead, and things was working really good. So we go to Southwick, and I've always done pretty good there. I like the rough track and the heat, so looking forward to it.
Right on. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Looking at the overall results, no big surprises. Carmichael 1-1, Tortelli 2-2, Lusk 3-3, and then the big surprise, Robbie Raynard 4-4 for fourth overall. He's with Cameron.
Something just a little different quickly. A guy that did make it to the podium, but 2 fourth-place finishes. It's his birthday tomorrow. Robbie Raynard, I got to tell you, a great ride today. You got to be feeling pretty good about this.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I'm getting closer and closer to that podium finish, and that's what I'm trying to do. I won a couple of those this year before the year's out, and I'm really comfortable on my Honda Raynard modified bike, and we're working hard at it.
You're the top privateer. Talk about what it's like to be a privateer and how gratifying it is to be here in the top 4.
It's definitely a lot of work. You know, I've been factory, and it's definitely a lot easier because you get to fly to all the races. It's just a lot easier. I've drove the last 2 races, and hopefully I'll get to fly a couple of these. But it's definitely a lot harder to be a privateer.
Talk about a couple of the battles out there. I mean, the guys you're racing against. Just take us through just a little bit. You got to be on the game. You know, those guys are fast, and they're strong, and they're fit. So you got to be fit with them and get a start with them and ride as hard as you can the full moto. And I faded a little bit there at the end, and I'll work on it. I won't be fading for long. I'm looking forward to some better finishes from you.
I will. I'll be there.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Taking a quick look at our overall point standings after 3 rounds, Ricky Carmichael was still perfect, and his next race is in the sand at Southwick. Check your local listings. You do not want to miss that one. Well, for David Bailey and Cameron Steele, I'm Davey Coons from High Point Raceway saying so long, everyone. This has been a presentation of ESPN, worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Checker flag, James Stewart, the first national win of his career. James Stewart right up in the 3rd place, just like that.
He can push it from here.
James Stewart one more time through the mud and over the finish line for his 2nd straight win. Can the star-studded field catch and tame King James? Welcome everyone to round 3 of the 2002 AMA Chevy Trucks U.S. Motocross Championship. Today, it's the 125cc class.
everyone, I'm Davey Coombs, and joining us later will be former champion David Bailey and Cameron Steele. But before we get to the action here at High Point, things have already been happening. A big shakeup in the 125 class. First of all, KTM Red Bull rider Grant Langston, second in the point standings, did not even make the trip out here from California. He hurt his knee, had some surgery done on it. It did not go well. No telling how long.